Alright everyone, welcome back to another exciting devlog. We have a demo. I don't know if any of y'all are familiar with Replit, but Replit is kind of cool thing where it can take all sorts of code and transform it into a web game. And so what you're seeing on the right, I think it'd be my right, maybe your left, I'm not sure. Probably your right. Is my journey to Winterhaven turn-based arena RPG. It is, in fact, totally playable. I've been working on a while of having this game that has like a moral choice at the end, and it has all been inputted. This is version 5. I'm actually working actively on version 6 right now, as you can see over here on the left. I'm at version 6.05, but that one we're not talking about today. That one I'm working on still in the silence. But I do want to talk about my most recent version. The last one I released on GitHub was 4.28, and now we're moving to the 5. 5 didn't quite go as far. I think 5.14 is as far as I made with that rendition. But what I did do was complete the conclusion I finally wanted to complete. So this is a Replit. It's awesome. Name's automatically Umbra, but you can enter whatever name you want to try. Enter the arena. And it kind of has a breakdown here. Do you want a full breakdown of all the numbers, or just the numbers? I keep this as a debug option for me so I can see how damage is being totaled. But, you know, you don't have to do that. You can just the numbers. And there you go. You find yourself stumbling through a forest late at night. Your torch flickers against the shadows of the trees. You are hungry and exhausted, trying to reach the nearest town, Winterhaven. Now, Replit isn't exactly my Python script. It's very, very close. I fed it to Replit, which is it's like AI agent. So it took Python script, converted it to TypeScript, and here's what we got. I told it to make some basic background, so it's got a pretty basic background, and it's got some sprites. But we will come back to that. One of the big things I was working on was actually, well, let's just max this out for now, was actually coming up with the knitting. So all the way down here, line 7,000 and something, 7,311 to be exact, is the endings. Little story here going on. You fought your way through the champion, and now you're left with a choice. What do you do? Do you make the good choice or the evil choice? Both of them have their own unique bosses, and both of them have their own unique ending. So you can make that decision for yourself. Try them both. Why not? It's awesome. It's exciting. It's fun. One of the coolest things I did add actually was a struggle mechanic for bosses. Let's go all the way back up here. 2045. I wrote down the code line so I can find it quickly in this. This is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. At one point it was one giant massive file, but I have started to slowly modularize it so different sections are now pulled out. So it's a little easier to find section I'm looking for. But for now, we're looking at line 2045, almost there. Oh, good thing I wrote that down. Okay, so actually it's 2045 and our monster. This is just another script. It's actually probably already almost set there. But yeah, this is this kind of example of my new mechanic. All three bosses have it. You got the Fallen Warrior. He has his own mechanic. Then you got Patronus, who is evil path fight, and you got Chamara, young Chamara, who is a good path fight. But yeah, here you go. This is kind of how it works. The lower the monsters, the boss's HP goes down, the more likely they are to use their specials. That one particularly is talking about Patronus. I've created two unique patterns. One, young Chamar, is more of a glass cannon, if you will. So loss of attack, less hit points. And some cool moves. Actually, it draws moves from all the moves that exist in the game. It gets access to tier 1, tier 2, 1 tier 1, 1 tier 2, and 1 tier 3 move from all the different monsters I have. And it obviously does more damage than the basic form would do. And on top of that, it has its own unique move. And so they're kind of different, kind of unique. And this is Patronus. Patronus he's actually almost like an advanced player. Because right now the game is currently capped at rank 5 for all skills because this is a demo. Well, Patronus has multiple ranks. and he's actually gotten up to a rank 6 ability. I want to have hidden skill inside. So like if you get 2 skills to rank 5, then you get a hidden skill that's unlocked between them. And so he has done that, and I think I make him 1 rank 6 move too, which is kind of cool because that's the future of the game. But yeah, there we go. That's how the mechanics works. The lower his HP gets, the more likely he is to use his special. This guy is a freaking tank. But anyways, enough about that. I also created multiple new enemies. I mentioned a couple of them. I mentioned that I created Patronus, Young Chamara. Young Chamara's kind of already been in there, but I actually made it a threat. Patronus is brand new. And I also finished off all my tier 3 monsters in version 5. So we now have a Goblin Warrior, a Flayed one, and also a Drowned one. And it's interesting because if you play the game now rewards titles. And if you die, because there's a couple paths you can take where you actually die before you make it to the tournament, and if you die on those paths, you become the enemy. So I thought it was kind of cool. It's like you're fighting a previous adventurer who died in the process of trying to get to the arena. So yeah, that's what we got going on. Oh yes, I did add a whole other tier of loot. And so loot is now, it goes up to Mithril tier. You can't actually get Mithril tier right now. It's kind of just for debugging for me. Eventually you'll be able to get it. Right now the highest you can get is uncommon. So you get a poor version, a normal version, an uncommon version. I'm working quickly on developing a store for the game that you get to access before the final fight with the Fallen Warrior, and in that case you actually can buy the rare versions of the loot. So keep an eye on I'm looking on forward to that. What's going to be happening going on there? Another big addition was trinkets. Trinkets is just another armor category. Find the line here. But yes, it is a new part of the hero class. And it's just another inventory slot. So right before it was just weapon, armor, and accessory. Well, I want something that could be passive, and so I created the trinket. And both Flayed and Drowned one actually drop trinkets, and they do their own unique thing. But yeah, that's what's going on there. It's kind of cool. A 4th armor slot. Eventually, I think I'm going to go with 7. And you can see here already I've got 4 of them, so adding a few more is not going to be all that difficult. Another big feature I've added is actually titles. Titles is something you can earn by doing certain things in the game. And the cool thing about titles is that essentially the premise of the game is you are playing the father. So it's, well, say 20 years in the past. You're playing as your father who's fighting in the arena. And he can get many, many, many achievements. Here's just a few of them. River Warrior, Jack of all trades, Champion of the Arena, Guardian, Dark Champion, all these different mechanics. And I think what would be really cool is have them be genetic markers. So essentially what happens as you acquire the titles, when you start your fresh new character 20 years in the future, you get all the boosts from those titles. And they're not huge boosts, but they're decent enough. Like here, for example, Guardian. Max HP +2, defense +2. Kind of want to make it so that you can specialize in titles and skills and that sort of thing. And you can almost build like a kind of unique class of hero for your starting game. There's not a ton here. I mean, there's a decent amount for the size of the game, but all of them are genetic markers. You cannot acquire all of them. It is impossible. You do not get enough skill points. But yeah, and there's some of the endings that we've added, all that sort of stuff. But that is what's been going on with the game. The titles is pretty cool. I really like the idea. One of the easiest titles get is Jack of all trades. It's pretty simple. Pretty much gives you +1 to all your stats, and you do that by taking at least one rank 1 in all the skills. That's another thing I don't think I mentioned. In version 5, I fine-tuned skills. So you get the first 3 skills, which are First Aid, Power Strike, and Warcry. And then at rank 3, Defense Break is unlocked, and at rank 5, Death Defier is unlocked. Kind of like a do-over card, which is pretty cool. But anyways, that's enough about that. Here's what we got going on. Shall we play the game? I think we should. Let's max this out. I really do like this. It doesn't quite set the vibe quite right. I mean, this is a potion shop when it doesn't quite match it. But I like the fact that it has a background and has ideas and all that sort of stuff. I will link that down to you. Replit is free, and I mean it's free to use, and I'll link that in the description. And the cool thing about it doesn't require any downloads or anything like that. All you gotta do is click on the link, and then you can play the game, and you can give me your opinion, tell me what you think of it. It's not quite exactly like the actual Python game I'm working on. It's very, very similar. But I have to tweak it every now and then, and I give it new updates when I release a big patch update like I did with the version 5. And it's still not, you know, it takes, anytime I do something with it, it messes with the code a little bit. And so, but overall, it's actually a pretty good demonstration, and it's actually got graphics, which is awesome. What are we going to do? Learn about Winter Haven. Ah, there we go. A little information on Winter Haven. Small town, dungeon nearby, clear dungeon, get loot, all that fun stuff. Who doesn't want to go to a dungeon? But anyways, here we go. A deep, angry voice echoes from within. Who goes there? Alright, here we go. A burly beastman sits out of the cave, hovering over you. Towering over you. He snorts and says, looks like we have another volunteer for our tournament. And then you can make different choices, which is pretty cool. I know that for me, and for playing the game, the best choice is to be as difficult as possible. So I'm going to try to escape. There's a scene, a sprint. You take some damage. But then you get something special. And from here we continue on. The beast walks alongside you, occasionally glancing at you with praising eyes. Do I want more information on the tournament? No, we'll wing it. You are thrown into a small cell. After a restless night, you are dragged out and shoved toward the blind light of the arena. The crowd roars as you step onto the blood-stained sand. Dun dun dun! Night falls, the cage creaks open. You are led towards the roaring sound of a crowd. The arena floor glows with magical torches. 10,000 monsters howl for blood. The iron gates rise. Sand and light flood the tunnel. You step through. Dun dun dun! Enter the arena. So this is kind of what we got going on. Whenever you start the arena, I want to reward player for actually making it to the arena and give them a little bit of character customization. And so starting level 1, you get a stat point and a skill point that you can invest however you choose. My personal choice is put 1 in defense, because a lot of the early tier 1 monsters do extra damage to you if you don't have at least 1 defense. That is changing in version 6 though, but we'll talk about that later. So I'm going to take my +1 defense, it updates here, 3 AP, attack 1 to 5, HP 27 out of 30, and I will take Warcry. I also updated what the titles do, the moves do. Warcry used to give you a flat +1, +2, +3, that sort of thing. Now it's percentage based, which I think will play way better for a longer version of the game. But anyways, enter the arena. Kind of gives you a brief description of what's going on. Round 5, that's actually not the end. Round 5 is technically the final boss, but then you have your moral choice, and then you go on to round 6. That's your potions you got. Enter the arena. So as you can see, it's pretty simple. It's pretty cool. Pretty awesome. And you got little sprites up there in the corner that I had the Replit make. They aren't my work. I do have some of my own pixel art that's, well, not as good as that, but it's fine for now. It's a fun kind of virtual presentation of the game. But anyways, same basic thing. Attack, skills, potions. Let's go to skills. Let's use Warcry right now. It's +2 damage for 2 turns. Which I don't quite know how that works, but it's fine. If it takes your attack up by 10%, minimum 1, and you only have 5 attack, why would you get +2? But it's fine. As I said, it's a little buggy, but overall, it's still pretty fun. It gives you a good feel of what I want the game to be. So let's use Warcry. We got our boost. This is our health. This is the green slime's health, the first monster we're fighting. This is our health. All our stats broken down here. And then we attack. Bum, bum, bum. See the damage rolled out. Attack again. And finally, one more attack. Woohoo! Now every monster drops loot. And it goes in variety. This game, I think I've gotten into legendary, so it might actually include all the way up to mithril loot available, though the chances should be really, really low. But sure, we'll equip our poison sack. It's awesome. We beat our first fight. We got 5 experience. We continue on. All right. On to the next round. You get a slight heal every round. You get +1 AP, and you get 10% of your HP back, just as a little recovery option. And you get everything back. Well, you get all your HP back when you gain level. Plus, you get stat points and stuff. So let's enter the next round. Next up is Goblin Archer. Actually, I have 3 different goblins in my game now. So let's attack with it again. This guy's almost dead. Lose your next turn. Alright. Attack one more time. And there you go. Goblin Sharpbow dropped. We can equip it. Gives you a chance at paralyzing. Equip it. Now we get our stat points. You get 1 stat point per level. We can... AP went up. Let's take defense again. And then you get 2 points to invest in various skills. For here, I've already got Warcry. Let's invest in First Aid. Let's invest in Power Strike. And as roll as that, you get Jack of all trades, as you can see. +1 HP, +1 attack, +1 defense, +1 AP. This is the stat boost that you got for leveling up. Random buff, random buff, random buff. It should only be 2 random buffs, but that's okay. As I said, it's not perfect. You get a nice little HP bump there. And we got +1 max AP. Alright, continue on. We've already invested our points. We did that before it brought up what we actually got for our upgrades. HP recovered. Everything's fully recovered. It's going to actually recover everything for you in this version. It's not quite exactly like the Python version, but it's very close. Which it's there. You actually can see it. A little more entertaining than freaking. This is one of my new monsters. And it's kind of a tough son of a bitch. It's the highest tier 3 monster that I've created. You see, I fought a direwolf previous to this, so you got my equipment down here: Goblin Sharpbow, direwolf pelt, and poison sack. The nice thing is, I know that the next fight coming up is going to be the Fallen, so I can use all my AP here and not worry about being screwed for that final fight. I'll have AP, plenty of potions. Let's attack. Goblin Warblade, even better. You can see here, that gives you a 35% paralyzed chance, but the damage is higher on this, plus it's bleed damage, which is nice, so let's equip that. Again, we gained a level, which is really nice. This is also something that's kind of cool. When you get to the boss before the Fallen, you get a free rank skill up. So we're going to take Power Strike rank 4. Everything's fully restored. It says we still have the skill point. I guess we didn't use it. Cap reached. You are limited to 1 stat point per level, which kind of works out, so you can't just pump everything into one particular stat. Alright, and you can see here you got your status. This is the shop where you can buy stuff, though you can't really generate gold yet. It's something I'm going to be working on very, very soon here. But you can buy all the all the equipment and stuff. But anyways, let's enter the final round. Fall the Warrior. Dun dun dun. Let's see if we can't finish this Fallen Warrior off. I'll use all my AP points. That's fine. Defense is really high. That's kind of the weakness, but he is specialized. This guy's special move is warped defense break. I don't think he actually used it. But there you go, guys. This is what happens. The Fallen Warrior collapses to one knee, his sword clattering against the sand. The crowd falls silent. He raises his eyes, not in defeat, but in something older, something tired. I don't want to kill anymore. A tremor of light forms at his chest, his essence, the living record of everything he has done and failed to do. The arena shudders. 2 presidents watch from beyond the veil of the world. They offer you the choice. The crowd cannot see. What do you do next changes everything that follows. And that is the conclusion of this video. This is the moral path that I wanted from the very, very beginning. What path will you choose? Path of power or path of mercy? Anyways, thank you for taking time to watch my videos. Hit that subscribe button. Click on the bell to be notified when I release new content. I release new content Usually about once a month right now. I might increase it now that I just finished school. But yeah, definitely check out the Replit link. Let me know if you play it. Let me know what you think of it. If there's anything you'd like me to talk more about in depth, go ahead, leave a comment down below. I read all the comments. And yeah, I think with that said, until next time, keep gaming. Bye, guys.